And with that, we end the conversation.
I was gonna say, I don't think Zevi is coming tonight.
That's right, because the Olam does realize that Hashem is recording every conversation.
Yep.
Does the Olam realize that? It's all being recorded.
Yep. And don't forget, everyone, look for your Art Scroll Volume 5 for tomorrow.
Oh, that's
But
right.
that's the Chavetz Chaim's word.
Correct.
Hopefully, my recording doesn't go to YouTube. Hope it doesn't transfer.
Yeah. I just have one thing to say, and this keeps bothering me. Bottom line is, hopefully, we're getting out of this. Bottom line is, I hope that we all look back at this corona and say, I did something to improve my life. Something that I could say that I could look back at this corona and I improved my life. Now, for a lot of us, Baruch Hashem, this daf is a big thing. It is, and it is a big thing. It's not easy to do this at night. But hopefully we could all look back and say, I became epis a little better because of this corona. That's all. Hopefully we could look back at that. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll go 3 shilas.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
My chavrusa made me ask you. He said he said he's gonna kill me if I don't ask.
Yeah.
Surveillance cameras on Shabbos.
What about it?
Question.
That's a reason also not to go to shul, because all the shuls have surveillance cameras. See how much
That's what he was saying. Every shul has surveillance cameras.
Oh, is that what you're saying? Why we shouldn't go to shul on Shabbos?
No, he's just asking. He wants to know what do you think about surveillance cameras? Can you leave them on in your house?
No, you cannot.
Wait.
Leave them on by mistake.
Wait, you're saying the cameras? There's 2 things. There's cameras that stay on. There's cameras that turn on with motion, and then there's the screen.
Screen and motion, definitely not. If you want to keep it recording, maybe that's not so bad. Just keep it recording.
You said the screen was a chashash of ksiva, so just shut it off.
Correct. The yeshivas have the things recording. The yeshivas have it recording, just no screen on. But a yeshiva is different than your own house, because nobody wants to be recorded. In your own house, you're very happy being recorded.
But you don't really care. You just want to record.
You do care because you want it on.
So then you want to know, what about a baby monitor?
What if you don't want it on? You're just too lazy to shut it off.
Baby monitor, I have an auto text for that. Should I send it to you or?
I don't get auto text.
Shabbos, what if you had it for kashrus in your kitchen and you don't care for Shabbos? You're just too lazy to shut it down.
Yeah, you still should shut it down.
So if you go to the bottom of the stairs.
And lawn sprinklers on a timer.
What?
And lawn sprinklers on a timer.
Yeah, what's my Ring doorbell?
Ring doorbell, really, you should shut off. Ring doorbell, you really should shut off.
Really? I should unplug it?
As technology goes more and more, there's going to be a big issue for you and all the other rabbis.
It is, yeah. So it's a big issue.
I'm saying there's a thing, a portal. There's like a portal. Facebook has this portal. It's like a digital photo frame, but it turns off. But then you walk by, it turns back on. I mean, you got to go around your house, and for an hour, turning everything off. No.
Yeah. How about the nest? How about the nest in your house? All that.
Jack, 1 second. I have to take out the battery out of the Ring every Friday?
No, but if you shut it off, you should make it not record and shut it off from the app. You can't do that?
Yeah, it's Yaakov. Let's say my surveillance cameras, even though they're officially only motion, it's really always recording. It's just not saving the recordings, because that's why it always you get 15
so it
seconds
doesn't use up the hard
drive.
drive.
Right. So really, it's recording the entire time.
Right.
So just turn off the screen like all of us do.
Yeah, just shut off the screen. Oh, I forgot this is water under the bridge with Naftali Landa.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, we got to get going because.
Wait, what about the lawn sprinklers?
Lawn sprinklers, they say to do it in the middle of the night.
Jacob, it's a short
Why is that better?
Why is it in the middle? Because it's a Marasayan issue. That's the only thing. It's a Marasayan issue. Even though nowadays everybody knows that sprinklers go on timers, so it's really not a Marasayan issue. So, but Lamaisa, Abshamil, so this and that, you do it in the middle of the night. Even though when Nolan wakes up, they see these big puddles outside your house.
Even though we said even any Marasayan, even Bechadre Chadam, so you're saying it's not really Marasayan?
Right, it's an Avshamilsa. It's an Avshamilsa.
So Yaakov, if you're making an outside minyan and you know your timer's on the water, can you shut it off?
That's a good
Some of those outside minyanim should have the shower go off in the middle of the minyan.
Well,
What's wrong with the nest?
No,
Because you can
why
say,
can't you shut it off?
what's wrong with the nest?
The nest, it's constantly adjusting, mamish. The second you walk into a room, it adjusts the temperature based on your added body heat.
Oh, you're saying as far as
The thermostat, but you could turn that
nest is
off. You
like-
could turn that
if
off.
it's not connected to your, if it's not connected to your thermostat.
Oh, then it's a regular thermostat. Then it's a regular thermostat.
See, I
Yeah, no, the
have
nest
the
is the
Ecobee.
Google Nest is a whatchamacallit, is the Wi-Fi system, but it's connected to like these.
But
speaker
Marchuk,
things.
a lot of them sense when you're in the room. The Ecobee will sense when somebody is in the room.
Yeah, but all of these have two functions. You could either have it learn your patterns, which does that, or you could turn that whole thing off and then it won't sense when you're in the
No,
room.
it doesn't. Not
You
the
could
Ecobee. Ecobee
No,
will
not the
still-
Ecobee. The Nest.
Yeah,
You could
the
shut the
Ecobee still.
microphones off. You could shut the microphones off. Is what I do. There's a
Right.
switch.
You just have to make sure that the second you walk into the room, it doesn't do anything. How can you ever open the door to your house in the summer, right? It's going to allow in cold air, right? It's going to cause the air conditioners to go on, let's say, right? So how, because it's so far removed, it's going to take a few minutes for the air conditioner to go on, right? So it's a grama and it's not direct. It's too far. Everything is too distant. But the nest, from what I understand, I mean, I guess you have to know which system you have, is in the second it will sense it and the screen will start, things will start moving on the screen, in which case you have a problem. Which really gets into yesterday's daf when we discussed desperation for a little bit, or that was 2 days ago, right? That's all the things of desperation. As we go through the Masechta, hopefully we'll have time. Hopefully we'll get minyanim going. I could daven before the daf, so I don't have to be rushed to get out of the daf, right?
You mean the
You
daf
can't
that's-
daven anymore before the daf.
After 9:15 daf.
You're not gonna be able to daven Ma'ariv 9:15 before 9:15 soon.
Listen,
you
for
from?
Bittul Torah, I'll daven a little bit before it says. You know what I mean? All right,
Can't hear you,
ready?
Mike.
We're gonna start
Okay,
pulling
let's
these
go.
wide
You
Kojak.
still have Meyer at 10 o'clock, so
When?
Kelly
Today,
Savalas,
right?
who loves you, baby?
Right?
No, but I
Does
can
he not
daven
look
also
like
later.
Kojak?
Yeah,
He looks
yeah,
great.
Who's talking about me? What's going on?
There you go. There's Kojak.
Yeah. Kelly Savalas,
What's
who
up?
loves you, baby?
Yeah, how you doing?
Looking good. Okay, let's go. Yeah, because this is going to be a real highway now, a 23-minute daf. Okay.
My wife
I'm
gave
just
me a
warning
really
you. I'm
sweet
just saying,
haircut.
in case, just for the record, the next parak, we're finishing hopefully the parak tonight. The next parak is as dry as I don't even know what. Okay, so I'm just saying it's just so.
As COVID in a nursing home.
I guess so. So it's not so geschmack. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to spice up the daf. So okay, whatever it is. Anyways, yesterday's chazara was weaving, not learning from an apikoros. If you can calculate the constellations, then it's a mitzvah to do so. Trapping the challah and squeezing it for its dye. Now we said shchita is not assur because of shchita. It's either because of dyeing, not dying D-I-E, but dying D-Y-E, right? And then and it's either that or taking away the neshama. Then on the base we discussed salting and tanning, no salting restrictions on food, smoothing and cutting. And then we went through cases of makabeh patish. And then we said writing and erasing, where erasing is stricter, where you have, if you can write one big letter, you're patur, because it's only one letter. But erasing, if you erase a big letter, since there's place to write two letters, then you're going to be chayav. And then we said makabeh patish on threads. Okay, so we're up to the Mishna, yeah? Void klal achar amrut. You remember from the beginning of the parak, we said that the reason why it says klal gadol is because there's going to be another rule. So this is it. Void klal achar amrut kol kosher latzniyo matzniyin kamayu. Now it doesn't mean something kosher in the kosher sense. This means if it's something that you would normally hide, matzniyin kamayu, and people normally would hide things like that. If something's not kosher to hide, and people would not normally hide anything like that, only the person hiding it. So basically what this means is that in order to be chayav for carrying something out on Shabbos, it has to be something substantial, right? So for some people, that would be a tissue in a pocket would be something substantial because they don't want to get caught without a tissue. Other people, a tissue is meaningless, right? So if you have like a piece of lint in your pocket, you don't have to go check your pockets for lint before Shabbos because lint is meaningless, right? It's the only way to be chayav to carrying something on Shabbos is if it's actually substantial and people.
So Yaakov, why don't we say the idea of bottled that it's a cordon when it comes to this?
Well, we are sort of. Well, let's see in the Gemara because the Gemara is actually going to discuss something along those lines, right? So right now we're saying no. This is basically saying because it's saying that's the double lashon. It's kosher latzniya.
No, because it's saying it could be. Oh, he's going to be chayav even though the rest of the belt is not mashed.
Yes, right? Now we'll get to it.
Everyone else is not chayav, but he's still chayav.
Okay, so let's see the Gemara. We'll see the Gemara. So kol kosher latzniya lafuke mai. When it says anything that's kosher to hide, what is that coming to exclude? It comes to exclude somebody who wants to carry some blood of a nida outside. Why anybody want to do that? I have no idea, but I guess that's what the Gemara is coming to exclude. All right? Kol shekain atzei ashera and kol shekain wood from an avodah zarah tree, meaning wood from an avodah zarah tree it's worthless because it's also ba'ana. So what are you going to do with it? So that's what it's coming to exclude. Manda or atzei ashera. So the one that says that it's coming to exclude atzei ashera avadam nida mitzna leilashunra. Dam nida, maybe you would be chayav because a person, I guess, cats like to eat blood of a nida. Okay, I don't know. I don't know if anybody has any experience with that, but maybe the guy's going to carry it for his cat. There's also an interesting thing. Somebody who feeds dam nida to a cat, he will become weak from it. I don't know what the pshat in that is, but that's what the Gemara is thinking. So Amar Rav Yossi Bar Chanina, hi like Reb Shimon. This whole thing is not like Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon, Amar like Amar Kol Shiur Nol Elul Matzniyei. Here Reb Shimon is saying that we don't say all the shiurim only to those that hide it, right? Which we're going to get to that in the next parak, right? But he's saying he's saying that it's subjective. According to Reb Shimon, everything is subjective, and our Mishna is saying it's not subjective, right? Let's see that. If it's not kosher to hide it, Amar Rav Elazar, how like Reb Shimon Ben Elazar. This thing is not like Reb Shimon. This Mishna is not like Reb Shimon Ben Elazar. The Tanya Klal Amar Reb Shimon Ben Elazar. Reb Shimon Ben Elazar said a rule: Kol she'enei kosher latzniya. If something is not kosher to hide it, meaning people would never hide something like this, meaning it's meaningless. It's new. But this one guy is a cheap guy, and he decides he does want to hide something like that, and then somebody else comes and carries it out, and this guy's going to be chayav with this guy's machshava. Meaning, let's say a half a grape falls on the floor outside. So most people would not pick that up, and it's not even worth the thing. But there's one guy who loves grapes, or whatever it is, and he takes that half a grape and hides it, and he's going to come back and get it after Shabbos. Then somebody else comes who doesn't particularly care about this half grape, and he carries it. So Reb Shimon Ben Elazar says that second guy is going to be chayav on account of the first guy, right? So clearly our Mishnah is not going with that opinion, right? Because our Mishnah is saying there has to be something that everybody would consider chosher. Okay, Zog the Mishnah, Maitzi Tevin, right? So this is basically what the whole next parak is going to be about. Maitzi Tevin, just all the things that how much it has to be to carry it. Maitzi Tevin kamalei pipara. If you're taking out grain, it has to be the amount that would fit into a para's mouth, into a cow's mouth. If you take out less grain than that, you're not chayav. Again, it's not mutter, but you're not chayav. Kamalei pi gamal. I'm sorry, otz eitza, which is another type of grain. Yeah, kamalei pi gamal. That's to fill up a camel's mouth, which is bigger than a cow's mouth. Amir, that's amir is also a type of grain. Kamalei pi tleh, that fills up a tleh, right, which is more than a goat. Where because Rashi says that's bigger than a goat. Asavim kamalei bigedi, and grass is the amount to fill up the goat. Ale shum v'ale betzalim, leaves of garlic and onions. Lachim grogeres. If they're wet, then it's like the mouth of a dried fig. Yiveshim kamalei pigedi. If they're dry, then it's enough to fill up the mouth of a goat. They do not combine with each other because they don't have the same shiur. Meaning, let's say I take out a half of a mouth of a para and a half of one of teven, and I take out a half of a gomel with eitza. So they will not combine with each other. Okay, we'll see that in the Gemara. My eitza, what is eitza? I'm going to review the teven shalmina kidneys. It's grain that comes from beans. Let's say you take out teven, like the mouth of a para, legomel, right? But you take it out for a gomel. Again, you took out a mouthful of which should make you chayav because it goes with a cow's mouthful, but you're bringing it out for the gomel. Rav Yochanan amar chayav, Rav Shimon Rav Yochanan says chayav, and Rav Shimon says it's potem, right? since it was the measurement for a parah, it's kosher, even though it's for a gomel. I actually had a shayla l'maisa, and now that I'm thinking about it, that actually came up today that maybe is negeya to this at least a little bit. A guy asked me that his dog has not had a haircut in many, many months because they can't, no grooming place is open. So he finally found one that's willing to come pick up the dog and bring the dog back, do the cutting and the shampoo and all that. But when? Friday of Shavuos. Okay? So what do you say? Can you do it? Can you not? So the shaila is as follows. A good shaila. Is this guy working for the dog or working for the owner? If he's working for the owner, it's Amir Lakam on Yom Tov. But if it's not working for the owner, he's working for the dog, right? The dog needs a haircut, not the owner.
Yeah,
the
but
dog doesn't have to keep Shabbos.
That's silly. The dog doesn't care what it looks like.
Nobody has any time on Shabbos to do it. You're not telling him to do it on Shabbos. He can do whatever.
No, he's coming to pick it up. He's coming to pick it up.
But if you give him enough time before Shabbos, or
you can't do that. That has to be brought before. That has to be brought before Shabbos.
And out Friday is Yom Tov.
Is Friday the second day Yom Tov or the first day?
Friday's the first day Yom Tov. Next Friday.
What's he talking about?
Who?
Akum. Schiras v'kalanis on Yom Tov.
Whatever. Ultimately it's Amir L'Akum.
You don't necessarily need to tell him anything. You can arrange the whole thing beforehand.
Why is this different
the guy's coming on Yom Tov.
Why is this different than your couches being built on Yom Tov?
You'll never forget that, will you? I didn't ask the guy to come. The guy was not supposed to deliver it on Shavuos. He brought it in himself, and his job is to put on the legs of the couch.
Okay, so this is the same thing. You're taking the dog. Not. It's arranged beforehand, and they'll do it whenever they want to do it.
It's not the same thing. Okay, we don't have time to discuss it fully, but I'm saying here the same thing. You're taking out the measurement of a parah for the type of food that is the measurement to be chayav on is the amount of a parah. But you're taking it out for the camel. You're not taking it out for the parah. So which one do you look at? As the recipient or the guy doing the assur? That's all I thought about that.
Yeah, but according to R Shimon that we just had before, it should be also potter.
What? Because it's subjective?
Yeah.
I hear. Right. I hear. I hear. Okay, anyway, so let's see weiter. So he said, Rabbi Yochanan said chayav, Rav Shimon ben Elazar said potter. But Urta, Amar Rabbi Yochanan hachi, at night, Rabbi Yochanan paskin this way, Latzafra, he must have slept on it, and in the morning, he changed his mind. Latzafra hadarve. In the morning, he changed his mind. Amar Rabbi Yosef shaper avad hadar. It's a good thing that he changed his mind. The reason he changed his mind, meaning, and he said that you're not gonna, it's gonna be chayav anyways. No, I'm sorry, he's gonna be potter, right? And Rabbi Yosef said it's a good thing he said it's potter because the bottom line is he carried it on behalf of a camel, and that wasn't enough for a camel to eat. You fill up, the camel will not be satisfied with a cow's mouthful. Okay, Amalei by Adarab because they made karam mistaver. No, the way he thought at night was the best way. The chazi lepara, because lamaisi could have brought it out for a para. It's if you use the measurement a para as your measuring stick or measuring whatever, right? Then he brought out enough for a para, so therefore he's chayav. No, so therefore, when the Gemara is saying, if you take out enough teven with a cow's mouthful for a camel, everybody holds your chayav. You take eitzah, which is really meant for a camel, and you take out a cow's mouth size, right? And you brought out for the parah, so that should fill up the parah's mouth, right? Meaning it's the wrong food for the wrong. I mean, we have different grains for different animals, so this is the grain for a camel, but you brought it out for a cow and a cow's mouth size. Right? So ve'ifcha itmar, and we learned the opposite. That's not really food that's meant for a para. So therefore, it's not considered an achila, and therefore he's going to be potter. That even something al yedei atchak is achila, meaning you go to a kiddush and you got down to the kiddush late because you were busy upstairs schmoozing, so you missed everything. The only cake they have left is the sponge cake, right? Well, it's always a leftover thing. So you eat it, right? So is that really called an achila or not? That would be, one says it is called achila, one's not called an achila. You have to be a Zaris to get to the Kiddush. Okay. Amir Kiddush, that's the thing that they do after Shul, by the way, if anybody remembers what a Kiddush is. Yeah? Okay. So Amir Kimalai Pitzla.
What's a Shul?
Oh, that's true too, yeah. That's the social gathering place. Anyways, Amir
That's the doors are locked, parrots.
Like I said with this whole thing, I haven't heard anybody complain why they can't be Menachem Ovel in person, even though it's probably a bigger mitzvah than Tefillah B'Tziva, right? I haven't heard anybody complain. When are they opening the Shiva houses, right? But for Shul, they're very, very worried about. Okay, Amir Kimalai Pitla. So Amir is to fill up the mouth of a goat, of a sheep. Batani grogeres. We learned the grogeres, which is a dried fig. You know it's one measurement. Okay, if they're moist, then they go like the gedi. But they don't combine. They don't combine to the stricter measurement of mitzvah the kalshabem, but that they will be mitzvah to the lenient one. Meaning, if you have lenient stuff that we're more lenient with, and you add on a more chomer measurement, then that will complete the lenient, which makes sense. The chomer thing is going to add on to the more meko thing. The Gemara says, are they really going to be mitzdarf? If you have a cloth that's 3 by 3, 3 fingers or 3 hands, 3 hand widths or 3 fingers width, 3 hand widths. You have a hasak dalet al dalet. A beged, in order for it to be makabel tumah of a zav sitting on it, needs to have at least 3 hand breadths by 3 hand breadths. Vasak dalet al dalet. A sack is 4 by 4. Va'or leather is hey al hey. Mafetz, a mat is vav vav vav. V'tani Allah. Ha'beged vasak hasak va'or ha'or va'mavetz v'tztarfen zem zeh. They all combine to make the measurements. The reason is because they all are right to become tummy if a zav sits on it. Time of the ruling the reason why they all combine is because it's right to become tummy moshev. I will ain't right to tummy moshev loy. But if they're not right to become tummy moshev, they don't combine. So you see that the measurements do not combine. And you need each one's individual measurement in order to be chayav. Meaning, if you combine like 1.5 of a beged with 1.5 of a leather and 1.5 of a mat, so then it's not going to combine. So Amarava, Hachanami chazi ledugma. No. So here too, you're going to be it's going to be chazi for dugma, right? Meaning, if somebody wants to start, he's an animal food salesman, right? So what he's going to do, he's going to take out little samples. So he's going to take out small measurements of each one and put it together on one sample sheet. So he doesn't have to, not a sheet, but a sample, I don't know, like a little, when you have food, so you get like a sample thing of food, right? So they have a little bit of each one so that you can taste each thing, right? So that would be the same thing here. So they would all combine. So he's very happy that they combine. So therefore, you can combine them all too. Okay, Zok the Mishnah.
Saying in this case is talking about food.
What does that mean? It's animal food.
Why does that have to be food? Why can't it be a clothing seller who has a bunch of different kinds of clothing?
That's the first.
He's showing
case,
you samples.
No, so that's the first case. But we're talking about for our Mishnah. The first case is talking about clothing, right?
Right. The second case is not talking about a guy who's feeding his animal that the shiurim are combining.
Right. So that's what we're saying. So why would they combine? Right?
Because the challah is whatever the figure.
We're saying the reason why the sheets or whatever the clothing can combine is because somebody will put them all together. They can all be matama moshev. Right?
Right.
Oh no, I didn't copy what you're saying. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, you're right. Thank you. Yeah, I explained it wrong. Yeah, what he's saying, no, meaning the reason why they combine by the sheets. Right? I was saying the opposite. Thank you. The reason why they combine by the clothing is because he could tie them all together to show different samples of leather. That's what you mean, Sro, right? This leather and what do you call it? Masha'en kain. That's not nobody's selling animal. What do you call it? Animal food that way. Right? You're not doing the sales of animal food. You have a bag of animal food. You say you want this type of food, you want that type of food. You're not combining them all together, but a clothing salesman is going to take his leather and his leather and his beged, his cloth, and his sackcloth, and his what do you call it? I'm so tired. I'm sorry. His mats, and combine them all together, and that's what's going to be his sails, like sheet, like a sheet of sails of stuff. So that's where they would combine. Okay, Zok the Mishnah. Grogeres chayav. If you take out food, right? This is human food. The previous Mishnah was talking about animal food. Now we're talking about human food. How much human food do you have to carry in order to be chayav? So grogeres you chayav u'mitztarfen zemzeh. But they do combine with each other because they're all equal shiurim, right? Chutz miklik pluson, except you don't count as part of the calculation the skins, garinean, and the seeds, voksein, and the what's the okitz again? The thing that sticks out that it hangs on the tree from.
The stem.
The stem. Thank you. The stem, the suban, and the umursanon, and the bran. Right, so all that does not get included. Meaning, so if you go to a kiddush and you want to bring home some food from the kiddush, right? So the foods will combine. You have to a dried fig is the amount that you have to carry, and the foods will combine. But you don't calculate any of the junk part of the foods. Only the main part, right? Rabbi Yehuda says no. What we exclude is the skins of beans that get cooked with the beans. So does the bran, right? That's the junk part of the stuff, not mitzdaref, but tanami learned in the Mishnah, chavlisha revayim kemach, va'oid chayav b'challah. If you have 3/4 of a kemach, is what the amount that you're chayav in challah, right? Chayav b'challah hein v'suban u'mursanon, and you include in it them and the suban and the mursan, all that stuff that they grind up together. Even the stuff that's not really edible, what we call whole wheat, right? What we call whole wheat, that stuff does combine to the minimum measurement of flour for challah, right? So if that's the case, Agama doesn't combine for Shabbos too. No, because sometimes an ani will eat his food with this mixed in with all, meaning basically an ani will eat whole wheat. That's what the Gemara is saying. Right? So whole wheat is really considered a low-class food, even though nowadays it became like this high-class food. But in the old days, whole wheat was considered junk. Right? So
what would Shimon Ben Elazar hold in this case?
I think the whole Bisman Hazeh or in the Gemara.
Would it be subjective? No, I'm saying would it be subjective the same way?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. L'chayra, he would disagree with this. Now, Agav, there's an interesting halacha. Where whole wheat combines with challah if you never took out the bran. But if you remove the bran and then put it back into the mixture of flour, which is, from what I understand from the kashrus agencies, that's exactly what they do, then the junk, right, the bran stuff does not combine. So therefore, most kashrus agencies say that if a woman, let's say you say that you take off challah for 5 pounds, if you're using whole wheat, you got to take off from like 5 pounds, and I don't remember exactly how much it was, like 5 1/4 or 5.5 pounds, because since they separate the bran and then they re-put it into the flour, then it does not get included in the 5 pound minimum for challah. It's just an interesting point. Basically, if somebody's baking 100% whole wheat dough, then they have to add on more to the minimum share of challah. But that's only because they separate. Oh, this Gemara here says it's included. That's if it was never separated. Once it gets separated and gets remixed back in, then it does not get included. Okay, fine. Except for the peels of adashim that gets cooked with them. Adashim in poilin loy, beans yes, but pulin is a different type of beans. Not vatani Yehuda chutz miklipe pulin v'adashim. Except for the peels of pollen and adashim, like kasha habachadli habatiki. One is talking about new ones, one is talking about old ones. Atiki my time aloi. Why not old ones? The reason is because in old ones they look black. Rashi says, and they look like flies in the food. So since they look like flies in the food, nobody wants it there. So therefore, it certainly does not combine. Okay, hadron Allah klagalo. Yeah, let's just do the Mishna, the next Mishna. I might say yayin. See, it's just interesting that there's a mamish straight continuation of the last. I don't know why they decided to call the end of the perek here, they should have done the end of the parak a blot ago, because it's just a continuation. Hamoitzi yayin, how much wine do you have to take? In order enough to pour a kais. Now, what does it mean to pour a kais? Right? It means to take, because they had to dilute their wine. Since they had to dilute their wine, so therefore, how would depend on the amount that you would add water to, which Gemara will discuss. Chalav, milk is kedei gemia. There's enough to swallow. Which, if you're getting all these food handouts in town, let me tell you, there's enough milk that's going. The milk flowing here is totally out of control. Right? Devash, honey, kedei liten ala kasis, to put it on a cut that we had before. Shemen, oil, kedei lasach aver cotton, in order to smear on a small aver, which we'll discuss. Mayim kedei lashaf emes akila. Mayim is to put on an eye, to put enough water to put on like eye, something that you put on your eye. V'shar kol hamashkin b'riviis. Every other liquid, you have to carry a riviis. A riviis, which we say nowadays, is anywhere from 3 ounces to 5 ounces. V'chol hashayvchin b'riviis. And any water that you're throwing out is b'riviis. Reb Shimon Amar kulam b'riviis. Everything is a riviis. V'lo yinam kol shiur nalolu elo lamatzniim. Right? That's the Akiva. Right? These really. It's everything in riviis, and these shiurim are only meant for people that have their own specific needs, and that's why. Okay, we'll continue this tomorrow. Bez Hashem, we finished at 10 o'clock. Fine and dandy. Stay safe and have a good night.
I didn't get my text about the baby.
You didn't tell me to. Okay, I'll send it now. 6:30 tomorrow, right?
Yeah, what time are we doing tomorrow?
What?
You want to do earlier than that? Anybody interested in doing it earlier than that?
I don't know.
No,
Put it out on
6:30.
Right, I gotta
No
go.
way.
6:30. Never earlier. Later, maybe. Not earlier.
I say we meet up. I say we all meet up. Have a chabura.
Good night, Island.
Good night.
Where's mommy? All right.